Interesting Chinese culture. Why are dragons considered auspicious in Chinese culture? Welcome to a journey of exploring Chinese culture. Today, we are going to talk about a topic that is especially interesting. In many Western movies and stories, the dragon often looks like this. It has huge wings, it breathes fire, it guards treasure. It is the evil final boss that the hero must defeat, right? So when a Chinese person gets excited and tells you, "Look, that is a dragon pattern. It stands for good luck and strength," you might freeze for a second. Wait, a dragon? That fire-breathing giant? Good luck. Before we talk more, let us do a quick DNA check on the dragon. Let us say something that sounds scientific. There are no dragon fossils in China, but there is a parts list. Deer horns, ox ears, rabbit eyes, a snake neck, a clam belly, carp scales, eagle claws, tiger paws. Ancient people stitched these together like building blocks. After they finished, they looked up and said, "Wow, this thing can swim. It can fly. It can also stir up wind and bring rain." And it perfectly explains three big natural things they saw but could not fully explain at the time: tornadoes, spring, thunder, and crocodiles. Why crocodiles? In 1987, an archaeological team dug up a tomb in Puyang, Henan. It was about 6,500 years old. Next to the skeleton of the tomb owner, on the right side, there was a dragon shape made from crocodile bones. On the left side, there was a tiger shape made from tiger bones. That tells you how people saw it at the time. To them, the crocodile was a dragon prototype. The tiger was a land warrior. Both were bodyguards, not villains. So here is the first conclusion. The Chinese dragon was not pure fantasy at the beginning. It was more like an upgraded crocodile with a lightning filter. This is probably one of the most famous and most fun misunderstandings between Chinese and Western culture. Today, we are going to clear it up. You will see that the Chinese dragon and the Western dragon often get translated as the same word, but they are actually two very different magical creatures. They were born from two totally different kinds of imagination. In China, the dragon is not evil at all. It is one of the most important symbols of good fortune in Chinese culture. It stands for wisdom, strength, and harmony. The birth story of the dragon, nature worship in very early times. You might ask, when did the dragon first show up? Here we need a bit of history with evidence. In the Neolithic Hongshan culture, archaeologists found a very typical jade shape. In English, it is often called a pig dragon. In Chinese, some people call it a pig dragon or a jade pig dragon. Its body is curled up, its head looks a bit like a pig. Overall, it looks like a dragon that is not fully shaped yet. The British Museum also mentions that this is an important type of jade carving in Hongshan culture. This is really interesting. It shows that the idea of the dragon began forming very early. It did not start with emperors. It did not start in the palace. It slowly grew out of older beliefs and everyday experience. Now let us time travel to around 3,000 years before the Common Era on the North China Plain. In winter, it was so dry that the ground cracked. In summer, one heavy rain could bring floods. Food yields depended on the sky. People noticed something. When crocodiles came up onto land, flooding might be coming. The shape of lightning looked like a dragon swinging its tail. The first spring thunder sounded like a signal that it was time to plant. To understand the Chinese dragon, we cannot start from fairy tales. We need to start from the ancient sky and ancient rivers. Thousands of years ago, our ancestors lived around the Yellow River. They lived by farming. For them, what was the most important thing each year? It was good weather and the right amount of rain. In spring, they needed rain for planting. In summer, the river could not overflow. In autumn, they needed clear days for harvest. But weather and rivers were huge forces that humans could not control. Sometimes they were gentle. Sometimes they were furious. People looked up and saw lightning cut across the sky. It twisted and bent like a long body. They looked down and saw floodwaters surge. The flow rolled and twisted. They imagined there must be an invisible and extremely powerful creature. It lived in deep water or high in the clouds. It controlled all of this. It could dive into the deep. It could rise into the sky. It could call wind and summon rain. Its body blended the features of animals people feared and respected. A snake-like flexible body, fish-like shining scales, which stood for water, eagle-like sharp claws, which stood for the sky, deer-like powerful horns, which stood for spirit and authority. And that is how an early image was born. It was not one specific animal, it was a super symbol. It was a symbol used to explain natural power. This symbol was the early form of the dragon. So from the very beginning, the Chinese dragon was tied to water, clouds, rain, and rivers. In its core, it was the ancient people showing awe for nature and turning it into a character. It was a nature god with a temper, but not a devil by nature. From a nature god to an imperial symbol, the evolution of power. You may have heard the phrase, the true dragon, son of heaven. Many foreign friends hear this and think, is that just self-worship? Functionally, yes, it is part of power packaging. But if you only treat it as the emperor bragging, you miss the deeper logic. In traditional Chinese political culture, there is a core idea. A ruler must prove that he is qualified. This qualification is not only about having a strong army. It is not only about having the right bloodline. More importantly, he must make people believe his rule can bring order. He must make people believe the world can be peaceful. He must make people believe the most important thing in a farming society can stay stable. So the dragon image is perfect as a symbol of legitimacy, because the dragon already stands for regulating the order of water and weather. Now time jumps to around 2,600 years before the Common Era. The tribe of the Yellow Emperor defeated Chu. They urgently needed a unified logo so all tribes could instantly understand who the boss was. The Yellow Emperor had an idea. Everyone worships the dragon, right? Fine. From now on, dragon equals the Yellow Emperor. If you oppose the dragon, you oppose the government. Then we jump to 221 years before the Common Era. Qin Shi Huang invented the title Emperor. At the same time, he upgraded the dragon from a public totem into a royal patent. Only I can wear the dragon robe. Only I can sit on the dragon throne. If the dragon face gets angry, bodies will fall everywhere. From then on, the dragon made its first big identity jump. It went from a nature god to a political lucky symbol. If ordinary people dared to embroider a 5-clawed dragon, it was possible. First, hand over your head. This monopoly lasted for more than 1,000 years. The good thing is, the dragon had no chance to turn evil. The royal court kept advertising it every day. Dragon means the true dragon, son of heaven. It means the mandate of heaven. Ordinary people could only turn fear into worship. The dragon image stayed popular all the way. As society developed, tribes became a state, and kings and emperors appeared. These rulers quickly found a problem. How do you make people believe my power is given by heaven, and it is legal and supreme? They needed a powerful symbol, so the dragon, already deeply rooted in people's minds, able to reach heaven and enter the sea, and able to control wind and rain, became the perfect choice. The emperor claimed he was the true dragon, son of heaven. That means, I am the only and greatest dragon on earth, the dragon's human form in this world. My power is given by heaven, which means the laws of nature. From then on, the dragon gained a layer of politics and power. The emperor's clothing was called dragon robe. His seat was called dragon throne. His face was called dragon face. The dragon became an exclusive symbol of imperial power, authority, strength, and legitimacy. In this stage, the dragon looked more serious and majestic, and its shape became more fancy and complex. It started appearing on all royal buildings, clothing, and objects. Ordinary people could not casually use dragon patterns. Otherwise, they could get into serious trouble. Many historical sources mention that the Chinese dragon is closely linked to the emperor. The dragon was used to represent imperial power, and the founding emperor of the Han dynasty, Liu Bang, also has stories connected to a dragon. By the Yuan, Ming, and Qing periods, there were even clearer rank rules. A 5-clawed dragon was considered for the emperor only. Other people could only use 4 claws or fewer. So you see, the dragon's status was raised again. It went from a nature god to an imperial god that links heaven and humans, but this still did not change its core. It remained the highest, positive, and authoritative symbol, not a symbol of destruction. So how did the dragon travel from the high palace and temples into the life and heart of every ordinary Chinese person? For that, we can thank time and cultural blending. First, even during the royal monopoly, the folk belief that dragons could bring rain and protect harvest never disappeared. Every region had temples for the Dragon King. People prayed to the Dragon King for good weather and a good harvest. The dragon always kept its original friendly side as a nature protector. Second, as dynasties rose and fell, the limits on using the dragon gradually loosened. Especially by the Ming and Qing period, dragon designs appeared more often among ordinary people. But it was no longer the emperor's 5-claw true dragon. It might become a 4-claw or 3-claw python-like dragon. Or it might appear in a more decorative style. Most importantly, the dragon deeply entered Chinese festivals and folk customs. This is the key reason it became lucky and lovable. Dragon dance during the Spring Festival. Imagine the noisy New Year's celebration. A group of people hold up a long dragon made of cloth and bamboo poles. It is bright and colorful. They follow a dragon pearl and make the dragon move up and down. This activity originally aimed to pray for harvest and good luck. People copied the dragon's movements to wake it up and bring rain for the new year. It is full of joy, teamwork, and community spirit. Dragon boat racing during the Dragon Boat Festival. To remember the ancient poet Ku Yuan, people race boats carved like dragons. The dragon boats rush across the water like a dragon coming out of the sea. They stand for vitality, courage, and team strength. Parents saying, "I hope my child becomes a dragon." This is one of the most common phrases in China. It means parents hope their child can be outstanding, successful, and capable, like a dragon. Here, the dragon is a beautiful metaphor for an excellent person. In these activities, the dragon is no longer a frightening holy beast. It becomes something people can get close to. It becomes a lucky symbol that brings joy and hope to daily life. It stands for fighting spirit, unity, and hope for a better future. Today, the dragon's meaning is even richer and more diverse. It is still a symbol of strength. When Chinese athletes fight hard on the world stage, media often say they show the spirit of the dragon and the horse. When Chinese companies go global, people call it the rise of the Eastern giant dragon. It is also a cultural bond. Chinese people around the world call themselves descendants of the dragon. This idea goes beyond region and politics. It connects people through blood ties and cultural identity. The dragon becomes a logo of Chinese civilization. The Chinese dragon has been passed down for thousands of years through festivals. On the second day of the second lunar month, people say the dragon raises its head. Barbers get very busy because people believe a haircut can bring good luck for the year. On the Dragon Boat Festival, people race dragon boats. It is like inviting the Dragon King out for a checkup and also showing strength to the river gods. On the Lantern Festival, people dance with dragon lanterns. A dragon lantern parade is like a parade of wealth. People believe that touching the dragon whiskers can bring great luck. You may have seen dragon dances during Chinese New Year. When the drums start, the long dragon rolls and flies. People gather around and watch. The atmosphere is loud and joyful. The dragon is the carrier of that wish. If you want a good year, you want normal rain, normal crops, and family safety. When you place that wish into a symbol, everyone recognizes that symbol becomes a carrier of good luck. In today's China, the dragon has almost become a famous trademark. In 2008, the Olympic torch was called Auspicious Clouds, and the torch shape also carried a curled dragon feeling. On the domestic large passenger plane C919, the nose sides include two very simple dragon patterns, meaning rising into the sky in one leap. At the same time, with global cultural exchange, more and more people are learning the difference between the Chinese dragon and the Western dragon. Chinese animation, movies, and games keep reinterpreting the dragon. They keep its traditional spirit and also give it modern charm. The Chinese dragon comes from East Asian farming civilization and careful observation of nature. It began as the image of natural forces. Later, it became a symbol of imperial power. Finally, it entered folk life and became a collection of good fortune, wisdom, strength, and national spirit. It is on the side of good. It is a protector. It is a lucky symbol. It is a cultural ancestor. They are simply two different cultural creations. Next time you see a Chinese dragon, please do not think of a fire-breathing monster. You can imagine it as a rain god that travels through clouds. You can imagine it as a majestic totem on ancient palaces. You can imagine it as colorful silk dancing joyfully during festivals. And you can imagine it as the wish in the hearts of countless Chinese people, a wish for good weather, peace, and safety, and personal progress. And that brings us to the end of today's episode. If there's anything you'd like to learn more about when it comes to Chinese culture, history, or mythology, feel free to leave a comment. I'd love to hear from you. And if you enjoyed this show, please consider following the podcast and leaving a 5-star review. Your support truly means a lot to me, and it's the biggest motivation for me to keep creating new episodes. You're also very welcome to visit my blog, where I share Chinese culture-related content and images from time to time. Just search for Bonnie's Podcast Handbook.blogspot.com. Again, that's Bonnie's Podcast Handbook.blogspot.com. You're welcome to leave comments there as well. Thank you so much for listening today. I'll see you in the next episode.